Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of 1990's Represent. We're starting off our second cycle of 1992. We're doing that with an album, and this episode we're talking about Automatic for the People by R.E.M. It's an excellent album. I actually got this album in 1993. Weirdly, I got it at a local kind of like community like Halloween party, or it was like a Halloween party at the French Creek like clubhouse or whatever it's called now. I don't know what they call it, but basically there was a huge Halloween party there for kind of like people in that area. I had a friend that kind of lived near it, so we went to that, and it was like a costume party, just people having like a good time. At the end of the night, they had some CDs they were giving away, and I ended up getting this album from R.E.M. and it's an excellent album. My other probably my favorite album from them overall, and then I also really like Monster. Those are like the only two R.E.M. albums or R.E.M. albums that I actually owned on CD. I listened to some of their other stuff. I haven't listened to everything, but Automatic for the People and Monster are both really good albums. We're going to get into the proper part of the episode here. I have my notes. Got some notes about the album. We're going to get to that. Let me just see if I can find it. There we go. So, got some notes. We're going to go through kind of just like a little bit of research I did for the video. We're going to look at some ratings, the track listing, and all that kind of stuff. So, Automatic for the People, first released October 5th, 1992. This is R.E.M's 8th studio album. Came out basically to kind of universal critical acclaim. We'll get to some of those kind of like ratings and scores a little bit later in the video. But critically acclaimed. It's an excellent album. The name of the album, according to my research when I was looking this up, comes after a phrase used in the restaurant Weaver D's Delicious Fine Foods, which I think is like what in the research is a soul food restaurant in Athens, Georgia. Actually, at Georgia, because it's not Athens, Greece, but Athens, Georgia. And apparently the owner of the restaurant, instead of saying you're welcome, would say Automatic for the People. And in the research I did, I saw a picture of, like an older picture of the sign of the restaurant. It said, the name of the restaurant, the Weaver D's Fine Foods, and then, or Weaver D Delicious Fine Foods. And then underneath that it said Automatic for the People. So they kind of took that phrase, so to speak, and named the album after that. So that's pretty cool. They basically got together and did a bunch of demos. Basically, the members of the band that play instruments. So Michael Stipe wasn't involved in making some of these demos, but basically in 1991 into 1992, Peter Buck, Mike Mills, and Bill Berry met to just work on new material. They would work kind of for like multiple days, like during a month, and once a month they would take like a week-long break. So they would basically be working 3 weeks out of each month, taking a break. I also read that they were when they would take their break, they would also like switch instruments and just play various other instruments. Michael Stipe described this is to like an interview from Rolling Stone. Basically, was describing some of the demos that they had put together, and it was his quote is very mid-tempo, pretty effing weird. Kind of just describing kind of like some of the stuff that they had worked on up to that point. The also on the package, the star there is apparently a Sputnik star, and it looks familiar because it's definitely like a piece of like 1960s like design that like those stars I remember like seeing them like on like older like architecture like or buildings that were like around during that time that were still up. So those stars were kind of used a lot in the 1960s, and it's the way it's photographed on the cover, it just like looks really cool. This album reached number 2 on the Billboard 200, ended up going to number 1 in the UK. I think it was like 4 times platinum in the US, so it sold pretty well. There were 6 singles that came out of this album, and those singles are Drive, Man on the Moon, The Sidewinder Sleeps Tonight, Everybody Hurts, Night Swimming, and Find the River. And out of those songs, I really love, obviously, Everybody Hurts is a classic. I think my favorite song on the album, though, might be Man on the Moon. Man on the Moon is an excellent track. Everybody Hurts is also really good, and I also love the way they use Everybody Hurts, not related to this particular episode, but in A Night at the Roxbury, when Doug and Steve have their fight, it plays Everybody Hurts like during that. So like that song is actually not on the soundtrack CD, but it's in the movie. So a really good use of that song in that movie as well. And I just love A Night at the Roxbury, one of my favorite movies. Came out to excellent reviews, and let me actually pull up those scores now. We'll go to those, and then we'll get into the track listing. So basically, it's got huge critical acclaim. Metacritic has it at 96 out of 100. AllMusic gave it a 5 out of 5. I think Chicago Tribune gives it, looks like a 3.5 out of 4. Encyclopedia of Modern Music has it at 5 out of 5. Entertainment Weekly gave it an A. The Independent gives it a 5 out of 5. The Los Angeles Times gives it a 3.5 out of 4. NME gives it a 10 out of 10. The Orlando Sentinel looks like it's a 2 out of 3. Don't know why they use a 3-star system. It's kind of weird, but that's kind of whatever. Pitchfork gives it a 9.3 out of 10, and Pitchfork is usually pretty tough on their reviews, so a 9.3 from them is really good. Q gives it a 4 out of 5. Rolling Stone gives it a 5 out of 5. And Select also gave it a 5 out of 5. Or the Rolling Stone was a star review, but out of 5. It's also featured on the album, the book 1001 Albums You Need to Listen to Before You Die. I think it made it to number 37 on that list. Was it 37? Let's see. That may have been a different list, but it's in that album as well. And now we're actually going to jump into our track listing. You need to go back to that. So apparently there's two sides to this album. Like, well, side one is called the Drive side, and side two is the Ride side. So Ride or Drive, depending on, I don't know if they're called that for any particular reason, but it's basically 12 tracks, and let me pull the length of the things up, and about 49 minutes in length. So 12 tracks here. Let me actually pull those up. So we're going to go off the Drive side. So we're on the Drive side now. And track one on that side is Drive. Track two is Try Not to Breathe. Track three is The Sidewinder Sleeps Tonight. Track four is Everybody Hurts. It's a classic. Track five is New Orleans Instrumental Number 1. And then track 6 on that side is Sweetness Follows. So side 2, the Ride side, track 7 is, Monty Got a Raw Deal. Track 8 is Ignore Land. Track 9 is Starry Kitten. Track 10 is Man on the Moon. Love Man on the Moon, probably, like I said earlier, my favorite song from them, probably. 6, 7, 8, 9. So that was track 10. Track 11 is Night Swimming. And track 12 is Find the River. So again, 12 tracks, about 49, almost 49 minutes in length. If I had to rank the tracks on here, probably my top 3 are going to be, let's see here, pull up the list again. Drive is amazing, so I'm probably going to go with Man on the Moon being my favorite track on the album. Might be my favorite track, R.E.M. track of all time. That's kind of debatable. Like, It's the End of the World, as we know it, is also amazing. Orange Crush is great too. But anyway, on this album, Drive is probably, number 1 is going to be The Man on the Moon, like I just said. Then Everybody Hurts, and then Drive. So Man on the Moon, Everybody Hurts, Drive. 3 just classic R.E.M. tracks off this amazing album. And like I said, I haven't listened to all of their music, but I've listened to the albums I listened to the most back during that time period were this album here and Monster. I haven't listened to Monster for quite a while, but I need to go back to that because I remember really enjoying that one, especially like it's like What's the Frequency? Kenneth is on that. I bought that one, I want to say, like in 1995, because 1995 is kind of when I first started really getting heavily into music, and I remember like picking up Monster like after Christmas that year or something like that. But that's going to do it for now. If you haven't listened to Automatic for the People, definitely go check it out. An amazing album from R.E.M. But again, that's going to do it for this video. So remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll be back again in a few days with a movie from 1992. Don't know what that's going to be just yet based on I'm going to see. I have a very short list of possible movies, and if they're streaming or not, I'll have to probably base it on if I either have it on DVD or if it's on streaming or whatever. But yeah, that's going to do it. So then, thanks again for watching. Remember to take care, or remember to like, remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. I think I already said that. But anyway, thanks again for watching. Take care and have a good one. See ya.